Hello everyone, John Marquis here, your Builder CPA, and this is a demo that might mostly pertain to production builders or builders who build on speculation and they don't sell the home or the job until it's fully completed. So here we are in QuickBooks, and this is totally different than estimating a percentage of complete because the title does not pass to the homeowner until the home is finished, the closing is done, the homeowner has their keys, and everyone goes on their way. So here we are in QuickBooks. I'm heading over to reports, and let's pretend we are going through month-end close. So I'm going to the profit and loss by customer report, and I'm going to focus on last month only. And this entry can only be posted on the very last day of the month after you have added all of your costs and all of your expenses. So here we have all of the customers listed by address. If you're not already tracking your jobs by address, I highly recommend you switch. It just makes it so much more uniform and clean. And it looks like some of these homes might be under construction and some of them might have sold. So we're going to assume 1525 Amelia has sold. We're going to assume 456 Oak has sold and 789 Birchwood has also sold. Some of the other items that have sales coming through, maybe those are change orders or upgrade fees, and we really don't want them to be included in the revenue until the job is totally done and we've passed the asset on to the client. Then we also have some costs, and we're not ready to recognize those yet for the jobs that are under construction. So the costs for the homes that are not completed will need to go into the WIP speculative inventory account until they are finished. So I'm going to go ahead and export this report to a spreadsheet by clicking this drop down over here, export to Excel, and I've already completed that. So now we have it in this sheet over here, and this is where I'm going to start building my journal entry. So there are some great tools where you can upload journal entries into QuickBooks, but for our purposes, I'll just be manually entering it today. So we have all of our jobs, and I'm going to copy them. And in our second sheet, this is where we'll build our journal entry. So we'll use account, debit, credit, and job. And under the job, I'm just going to right click, paste special, and transpose. And as a matter of fact, now we'll just do values only. Whoops, never mind. That's fine. We don't need it to be perfectly formatted. And then we are going to first back out the sales. So I will copy this, and the first part of the journal entry will be the sales number. And let's see, we will allow those to display properly. We don't need borders. And then we're going to also do the discount, and we will paste the values. And the reason I do it like this is so we don't lose track of, we don't get out of order. And then we have direct construction costs. And now we will just copy and paste all of these. And then we are going to do the same thing with the values. So I'm going to copy and paste all of them for now so we don't get out of order. So we are going to be debiting the sales to back them out. Oops. We're going to paste transposed, And for discounts, we are going to be crediting these because they show up as negative numbers. And then for the direct construction costs, we are going to be crediting these. And I'll just go ahead and freeze the top row. And then basically the difference is going to our asset account, which if we look over here, we have, you can ignore most of these accounts. This is our chart of account. So we are using 1430 direct construction cost. And so this is where the difference for all of these jobs will end up. And then we'll be able to track how much is in this direct construction cost, which could also be named WIP, because this will be the account that goes on the balance sheet. This is where the debit will go. So now we have to create a formula. We will do equals, so the direct construction cost is going to be an asset. So our sales, though, we have to debit them to get them out of there. So this will be a negative debit there, plus this credit, and then plus these direct construction costs here. So then it wants to autofill, which is totally fine. And I should, this will be interesting. So let's see if the journal entry balances, and it does. So we are in good shape, but I included all of the jobs, and we said that 1525 Amelia, 456 Oak, and 789 Birchwood, all of those closed. So I'm just going to remove each of these. So 1525 Amelia, I'm going to remove it from each of these sections because we don't need to post any journal entries for these jobs that are done. We want their revenue and costs to flow directly to the P&L. So 1525 Amelia is done, and then 456 Oak. So I can get rid of that one. And of course, and we will delete these selected rows. And then we have 789 Birchwood. So here we go. 789. There it is. And we will delete those selected rows also. Okay, so this will be basically my journal entry, and I use a tool called Sassant. There's also one called Transaction Pro, and I think QuickBooks Online Advanced even has an option where you can upload journal entries, but since we're working in a sample account, I have to do it the old-fashioned way and start with my journal entry. So the nice thing is that you can copy and paste into a journal entry, and it will bring up the correct account, and then I can copy all of the numbers, and of course I'm going to do it the right way, and I'm also going to copy the job. So I'll go line by line, and I will spare you the pain of watching me do all this. Make sure that you don't let QuickBooks mess with your debits and credits. And I will pause the video here, and I'll be back when the whole journal entry is entered. Okay, so I have the journal entry entirely entered and everything went fine. So I'll save it one last time. And then when I navigate over here to profit and loss by customer, I'll just do a quick refresh. And you can see for all of the jobs that are currently in progress, they now have all zeros. So other than our 3 homes that closed during the period, we are not recognizing any of the revenue or the costs related to anything else because we're still on the hook for it. It's not finished. It hasn't passed into the hands of the homeowner, so it doesn't belong on the P&L in this case for this production speculation builder. Now, if we navigate over to the balance sheet, which I have here, we have our 1430 direct construction cost, WIP account, whatever you want to call it. It's under our current assets. Just ignore the other items on this fake balance sheet. And interestingly enough, it's actually a negative number, which indicates a liability. So if you recall, we had recorded sales for a number of these jobs. We mentioned upgrades or change orders, and they did not have any associated costs yet. So the sum of all of that activity just happens to equal a liability, but it is still perfectly fine in this account. And for most of your cases, the cost is going to far out exceed the revenue, so this will likely be a positive number. But in case we wanted to investigate further, we can just go ahead and click on that number, and it will show us all of the different lines on our journal entry. But this really doesn't do us a lot of good because we don't know what job it's for. And even over here, if I choose the little gear icon, so it will show me the customer over here. So that gives us a little bit more color as to where these numbers belong. So now you can drill down and see which is which. But we're still not done yet. So with this journal entry, this is just a point in time as of January 31st, the last day of the month. But starting February 1st, construction will continue. So we actually need to go ahead and reverse this. And then it's going to undo everything that we just did in February. And then when we go to post the WIP journal entry for February, the homes that close, we just leave them alone and the numbers will naturally settle. So I'm going to scroll down here to, another pro tip. So before I finish this, what I like to do is copy and paste the link to the Google Sheet into the memo. So if we ever need to get back to our calculation, we can find it. Or you can also attach an Excel file right here, PDF, just as long as there's some kind of support, I find it tremendously helpful. So I'll go ahead and save this, and then I'm going to hit the reverse button, and it's just going to exactly do the opposite of everything that we just did. So now we have number 3R, R for reverse. It knows that the reversing date is the next day, which is February 1st. It updated the number here, and it even added this description here. So now I'm just going to go ahead and save and close. And now if we go back to our activity, our P&L by customer, and we expand this just by one day and we run the report, you can see everything is back the way that it was before we started. And that's just so that production can continue, and then we'll do the whole thing over again at the end of February, and we will just omit any homes that closed during that month from our WIP journal entry. So I know this was pretty complicated. Reach out with any questions. It probably only applies to production builders who are building on speculation. But drop a comment if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great day.